a liability. It's very unsafe to have a daughter. So you want them to get married and be someone else's responsibility at any cost. So you give dowry in the name of gifts, or taking care of your own daughter, or pleasing the other party because they just want their daughter to be there. So it is not just here, as you just said. It has been there in our cultures for a long, long time. It has just changed. So we thought if we make our daughters financially independent, it's going to go away. But you are not changing the social conditioning. How you see women and how girls see themselves since childhood in the homes. How subtly a girl goes to help the mother in the kitchen or is not part of a decision making. So the girls see their role and the boys see their role. So boys are considered superior, girls are considered inferior, and this social conditioning, very subtle conditioning, even in homes where they say that we are equally giving all the opportunities to our girls, we're educating them. But you are seeing the difference. Then the second thing is how women are treated outside. Even if parents, they don't want their daughters to be married, or they want their daughters to be working or take their own choices, the world is not so kind to them. They judge them at every given point of time that, are you single? Are you not married yet? Are you divorced? Are you separated? Are you in a live-in relationship? So that continuously keeps on going, and that is the reason parents at any cost would want it. It's a deep, deep social conditioning. It breaks my heart to see in the sessions when I ask financially independent women, I'm like, why are you being in that abusive relationship? They're like, तो मैं कहाँ जाऊँगी? It's so difficult out there. My boss will change their behavior towards me. My parents will change their behavior towards me. My children will not accept my this single status. So it's safer to be here. So that is why the dowry has been there and is there.
The fact that you're saying this is not limited to women who are financially dependent is also a big problem in itself. So there's another area that the entire society needs to work on collectively. We'll come back to you in just a bit. Advocate Neha Batra is with us this morning too. Good morning, Neha. But before that, Mr. Bhatt, to you. Now, the understanding we have, and it goes without saying that there are cases that go unreported. Why are we looking at that pattern? Why are we seeing women fear before they, try and fight whatever is happening in their domestic circle? What is it that the law, if at all, is not extending to them, that is sort of shielding them from this atmosphere that they're fighting day in and out?
Good morning. Wish you happy Vinayaka Chaturthi. The law is very good in this case, Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, and it prohibits the dowry advertisement as well as dowry demand or anything. But the reality, the bride, the parties, they give as a gift to the group. Now, fundamentally, even though there is no demand from the groom side, the most of the time, the bride, they themselves voluntarily, they'll give in the form of the cash, or in the form of gold, or in the form of anything, because they feel that their girl or their child should be very happy in the husband's house or in their house. That's the intention behind that. Now, why it will not be reported most of the time or such kind of things? The reason is that she will feel that in my husband's house, so it will be, it's a norms. It's okay demanding, and it may be all right if I pay a little more money, or if I pay more, gold or anything, they'll be all right. So that is a psychological, the belief of the woman, feeling that she will be all right in husband's house by giving little more money. Now, what we have to look into is the psychological aspect of the woman, and as well as the bride's family. So why do they feel that giving something will protect the woman in the husband house? So meaning is the violation fundamentally, knowing the law, they should not do, and still they try to give in the form of gift. It may be, the word may be a dowry, but you should look into the first aspect is what they are giving.
So you're saying strict laws are in place implementation isn't weak either. It all comes down to the human psyche. My only concern here is, Mr. Bhatt, it's not limited to the bride's family or the bride's side alone. I think this is a mutual feeling. There is a certain social standing that gets reflected the moment you're putting in more money, you're gifting all these expensive gold jewelry, etc. So I think it extends to both the sides.
Not only that, in the case that we're looking at today, in Nikki's case, her parents had made a gift to the groom, but at the same time, they had been married for many years. Yeah. Post their marriage, there allegedly was pressuring from the husband's family. Again and again, this 36 lakh demand that we're talking about came from the husband's family, Advocate Sudhindra. So I don't necessarily know if it's fair.
My question is here, why they are not informed to the nearby police station? Because there is a law under
Advocate,
domestic violence.
We're not arguing that there needs to be a change in the way women look at it. We're saying that change needs to happen on both sides. Yeah. That's all.
Yes. Now what I say is, you know that from the day one, the family is demanding for some one or the other different kind of the demands of the gift or money or car or whatever it is. The well-educated lady, she would have just called the local police station, or she would have walked, or she would have told her friend. So instead of getting into losing the valuable life. So what I say is, in a very simple word, is the most pervasive of human right violation of individuals.
I agree with you.
Violation. So can we get that life back now? So it is not possible. Forget about that. The husband's mother is also one female. She would have called the police station, or the girl's mother is also a lady. She would have called the police station.
But Advocate,
or some kind of
I want to, Advocate, here I want to come in once again and say that there are articles now that are talking about what bystanders had to say. One bystander from the community said, and this was in an Indian Express article, that we're from the Gujjar community. If our wife returns home, if Nikki had returned home, if she'd stayed, because ultimately after registering a case, what happens? The bride comes back to the house that she went from. If they come home, that means a lifestyle of shame, and a lifetime of shame for not just her but her whole family. That's what we mean when we say that the entire environment needs to change. It's not one person's ideology alone. Let's go over to Advocate Neha Batra also to understand more. Advocate, can we ask you, in cases like this, cases you may have fought on either side, what have you observed are the issues that persist? Because we're all discussing the common Indian knowledge that dowry is bad has existed for years now. So we don't want to repeat ourselves there, but it still happens. It comes into our everyday life in ways like gifts, as we're talking about. What do you think needs to change? How do we actually make change?
See, ma'am, for a change, first of all, we need to change our minds, because even in spite of the fact that the laws are old and now the laws are being strictly executed, there are so many cases which are loaded in the courts, but still the mindset is the same. Till the time the minds are not changed, we cannot expect a change in the society. Because as Mr. Bhatt also said, it's somewhere it is given in the form of gifts. So basically you give a color to that. If you are giving a color to a word in the form of a gift that we are giving as a gift, so the people who accept and the people who give, they all are equally responsible. So in that case, I think the giving of gifts in the form of dowry, or making it a social status, making it a social symbol, is all it's kind of a status symbol, or it's a kind of a reputation that you want to show to the society that yes, we can do this much, we can spend this much, we have a lot of money. And this is all because of all this mindset, the things are not changing, and we are still facing this problem of dowry harassment and cruelties and everything. So there is a need to change the society. There is a need to change the mindset. Till the time we'll not change our mindset, the things won't change in the society. It will all remain the same, be it Delhi, be it any other place in India, or be it Gujarat, be it Rajasthan, or any other place in India. So I still believe that the mindset should be changed, and the laws should still, there is a need to make amendments in the laws wherein the dowry should also include gifts, which we say that we are giving gifts, but actually it is not a gift, it is a dowry only. But we call it as a gift. So that should be changed. So this is my
yeah,
opinion.
I was reading somewhere there are people who in fact have struggled to get married for the longest time because they put their foot down and they decided that we're not going to give in to this kind of culture. So there are those who've spoken explicitly on the experience that they've had in these kind of cases too. Aruba, can I quickly then ask you, what will it take to change that mindset? And for a second, take us into the mind of a woman, financially dependent or independent, who is thinking twice before going back to her home, her own home, to her parents, and
Ma'am, just a
who's
second.
giving
I
into.
would like to add on this. We just need more strict law if we want to change the mindset. That's it.
And how do you
If the law,
suggest that, Neha? How do you think we can do that? What
ma'am,
would
because
your suggestion be?
we need to amend that. We need to enhance the provision by including all these things into the law.
What do you
It is
mean?
just the it means the it should be enhanced in the sense all the gifts, everything which is given should be a part of the dowry, but it is actually not. So there should be the lawmakers should work on this, and we should have a detailed version of this. It should be more explained. It should be like more elaborated. This law should be more elaborated, and but right now actually some people are even misusing the law. So it should be
Yeah,
a law which
yeah.
is that's also a point.
Yeah.
Because we are even seeing we are fighting daily, even for we are representing men also, and who are actually struggling. So it should be a law which should be a balanced one, and it should cover it is the duty of the lawmakers. It should be need of the hour that there should be some amendments in the law.
There was such a
So then
prominent
only
case.
No,
then only
add
there
on
will
this.
be a change
Add
in
on
the
this.
society.
The law is good. In fact, BNS section 80, it talks about dowry deaths, and also the BNS section 85, it also talks about the dowry harassment, dowry tortures. In fact, it has been replaced by 498A of IPC with the BNS. It has been, the law is very good. The problem is we have to see it's all done by a well-to-do families and also social and culture norms. So giving a gift or giving any kind of form is a social norms. Is in a culture within the
Yeah,
culture,
that's all
within the
mindset.
community. It is
Okay,
there.
so
though-
even if a certain amendments are made, but we don't see a shift in mindset, Aruba. That's what I was meaning to ask. How can we then
Yeah.
proceed? How can we then see positive impact? Because if a woman's family, her own parents think once she's married, we are not going to be as involved in her domestic affairs, or if the woman thinks twice before going back to her parents for help, the story is not going to move forward.
unless until the
One second.
education-
Sir,
Advocate,
can I
please allow the other guest
yeah.
to speak.
So we have to understand that why do people stay in abusive marriages? Even after they are financially independent or dependent, or maybe they come from well-to-do families, or maybe they don't. The first and foremost is when you are in an abusive marriage, there's a fear of consequence. Leaving an abusive partner is often the most dangerous time. Threats, violence, even murder, risk of murder can go up if the person wants to leave when the person who is abusive feels that they're losing the control. So the person who is in an abusive marriage, they don't dare to leave in that moment. And the next comes, these relationships are not always abusive. There are highs and lows. There's a conflict and there's a honeymoon period. And that's why we call them trauma bonds. Like there's this hitting and there's this I'm so sorry baby, तुमको पता है मैं बहुत stress में था, it's my mother, it's not me, it's my sister, it's not me, it's my work pressure, if you bring some money it will be helpful to us. And the girl is like, oh my god, oh yeah, that is true, because that is the social conditioning. She's also grown up, it's seen in her family. So that is also there. So it becomes very difficult. It becomes a trauma bond. And when trauma bond is there, psychologically, rewiring happens because there's a lot of release of, dopamine and oxytocin. So it's like an addiction now. You want to get out of it, you don't want to get out of it. So when we are talking about for these people to get out of the relationships and change that thing, that we will not accept it, it's not so easy. To be honest, it's not. Patriarchy has modeled men and women. Patriarchy is equally dangerous to men how they are dangerous to women. If a man is not hitting his woman or he is not asking for the dowry, he is called not being enough. He's not a man enough. So he does
But it's
that.
not just the male figure. Mother-in-laws, for instance, in this case,
Exactly.
are also part of the problem, because if the mother-in-law was aware of what was going on, in fact, so many psychologists and sociologists have spoken of how there is a need, because of this inherent patriarchal pressure that the leading lady or the mother-in-law in the house feels,
And
she
she does
feels the
it.
need to overpower the daughter-in-law to establish a certain
Yeah,
dominance in the
establish her
domestic circle.
control.
Can I
Because
ask?
people got that identity, right? And in this case, the mother-in-law is saying, "हम भी तो पिटे हैं, हम तो नहीं मरे." So it has been going on there. Now, I'll quickly say, what can we do as a psychologist? What I feel, yes, laws need to be strict and everything. Both the advocates have said that. But the first thing is safe passage for the person who's in an abusive relationship. Not only legally and financially, but emotionally. To encourage them, to give them that assertiveness in the society, acceptance. And second is addressing the stigma. जब तक हम stigma को address नहीं करेंगे, they are going to feel that. I recently had a client and she said, the minute I told my boss I'm separated, he came on me. And my friends have changed. They think I'm easily available now. So I don't know what to do about it. My parents are supportive, but outside I can't go to work and tell people that I'm separated or divorced.
Aruba, can we also just ask you very quickly, what is a positive example? So I want to understand, in your clients, a woman who has successfully managed to leave either a relationship where it's abusive or there's dowry asks being made of her, what does safe passage look like? How did she establish a safe world for her outside of the marriage so she could leave it?
First of all, work on herself. It's like, how snakes shed their skin. That's how we have to shed this conditioning, where I accept, trust, and value and respect myself. It doesn't matter what other people talk about. It takes some time. And so many of my clients are beautifully done it, men and women, where they don't bother what society is saying. They're like, I need to look at myself. I need to look at my own protection. How do I feel safe? Once you do that, you can equally, if somebody says, oh, you are separated, you're like, yeah, I'm separated, so I am divorced, so yeah, I don't want to give dowry, I don't want to settle for this. And there is this law of attraction. I know it comes across as, this stupid thing, but it is true. Once you trust and believe in yourself, and once you are that assertive person, you even attract people like that. You only talk to them. So you do find partners who respect you, who respect your values. There are so many successful stories I see inside and outside therapy who have done this, gotten out of abusive marriages. And I really want to add one more thing. Given you are living an abusive marriage, you are not only doing a favor to yourself, you are doing a favor to the next generation. Because the child, like this 6-year-old, he saw, whether he saw it, he didn't saw, but I am sure he did see a lot of abuse, a lot of conditioning, bargaining in the family. So you have already damaged the next generation. Now this kid may grow up either replicating the same thing, doing the same thing, or becoming anxious, numb, hyper vigilant in his life. So you are not only doing it for yourself when you walk out of an abusive relationship, you're doing it for the next generation. Because that, in my therapy, that has given power to a lot of parents to walk out of the abusive marriage, not for themselves, not for their parent, but for their children. So that is one more
Yeah,
big thing.
so this is even what I was saying. So basically, we have to work on our mindset till the time we don't make our children and our future generations stronger, not physically but mentally. Actually, that if you feel anything wrong, you should come out of it and you should raise your voice instantly. And you should seek help, legal help, or help of the authorities that are present near you. Till the time we don't make them stronger mentally, we cannot we cannot come out of this situation. And secondly, making girls equally educated, making girls equally qualified is the need of an hour. We just have to make them very well financially independent. So in case any situations comes like that, they should not see back neither to their parents nor to the society. They just need to come out of it and stand on their own,
But
because
sir,
you
there's
need
so much
finances
more,
to
Neha, that
stand on
needs
your
to be
own.
done as a society too, right? For
No,
all of us
at
to
the
expect
ground
that
level-
one
at
thing
the
from a
ground
woman is
level-
one, but
No,
let's
ma'am,
let's
at
not
the ground
forget,
level, it
Neha,
needs to
Neha,
be
one
done
second, can
from
I
the
complete
parent side.
myself?
Yeah.
I was just trying to say that let's not forget that a woman is constantly under the pressure of being married by a certain age, having a child by a certain age, because your biological clock is ticking. So there are several other aspects to this story that as a society we collectively need to work on. Yes.
Yeah, so we need to work at the ground level from the from the family itself. The family should support. These days, people are having hardly 1 or 2 children, and if there are girls, we need to give them equal rights, equal education as the boys, and we need to focus on the fact that yes, we have to make them stand on their feet. In case any situation comes like this in the life, they need to be so much mentally strong that they can fight that on their own. If that is done at the core level, at the
A
base,
very important thing here. I'm
they
sorry for
can come out
interrupting.
of it easily, and they can work on it easily.
But we are just talking about, women changing their mindset and changing the next generation that are children. But I really have seen it that it's not just them. I guess we need to have more awareness conversations with elderly people
Yeah.
because when a child is
Yes.
growing in a family, in school, whatever they see in books, in TV, whatever they read, but they still have a strong hold how my grandfather is, how my father is, how my mother is. And that is what they look for in their romantic relationships. And that is how it plays. It takes a lot of courage, lot of time for people to break out of that pattern, and which is very hard. So it is not just, it should be school teachers should be educated about it. It should be our media should be like that. It should be our elderly people, where we are having these laughter yoga classes for elderly people. Why not have these mindset upgrade people classes for these people? It's very important to have these things. Only then it will change. And one thing, if somebody is in an abusive relationship and they want to move out of it, first of all, my love, create a safe circle. Have those 3 or 4 people who are going to support you. We are social animals. If you don't have the support system, that friend, that cousin, that parent of you who will support you about the transition, it will be very difficult for you to walk out of that. Second, save some money. I know people make money, but they still don't have access to their money. They are not financially independent. They're only making money. I have a client who makes 4.5 lakh rupees a month, and she gets 25,000 as a pocket money from her father-in-law. So it doesn't matter what money you make. So maybe save some money if you want to make that transition. Third thing, think what you are going to do. I know abhi to nikle nahi hai, kaise karenge, but little bit, because if you don't have hobbies, if you don't have passion, if you don't have ambitions, then that hopelessness, helplessness, किसके लिए करूं, क्या करूं, कोई future नहीं है, that comes. And get into therapy to change your mindset. It takes a lot. It's a lot of patriarchy. It takes a lot.
Yeah,
Aruba
it will take.
and Advocate Neha and Advocate
I'll be
Surinda,
back
it
to
has
the
been.
same.
We have
Now, we can
actually.
say,
I think we may have run out of time now, but it was so lovely to just watch how passionate all of you were just coming together on this story today. Okay, we're going to head into a quick break now.
And coming up next, we talk to Madhav Sheth, who is cracking young India's code, how India's youth are choosing their tech. We'll take that conversation forward in just a few seconds. We'll be right back.
Shifting focus to some more breaking news that's coming in from behind bars at Adiala jail. Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan has sent a fiery message to Pakistan's Army Chief Asim Munir, accusing him of destroying Pakistan. According to Alima Khan, Imran Khan's sister, the former Pakistan Prime Minister drew a direct and stinging parallel between former Pakistan Cricket Board Chairman Mohsin Naqvi and the country's Chief of Army Staff, Asim Munir, calling them both failures. He has also said that his family will not bow down to Asim Munir. Imran Khan has said that there is no rule of law in Pakistan, adding that all institutions are compromised. So strong words coming in from Imran Khan via his sister Alima Khan. Listen in.
इमरान खान ने कहा कि आप क्रिकेट का हाल देख लें, जो मोहसिन नकवी क्रिकेट के साथ कर रहे हैं वही आसिम मुनीर पाकिस्तान के साथ कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ पे हालात ये हैं कि रूल ऑफ लॉ खत्म हो गया। हमारी मीडिया जो बड़ी मुश्किल से एक लेवल पे पहुंची थी, एक उन्होंने एक डेवलप की थी, इवॉल्व की थी, और पाकिस्तान ने अपनी जगह एक बनाई थी, और पाकिस्तानी अपनी मीडिया पे इत्मीनान करते थे। यहाँ के टॉक शोज ड्रामे से ज्यादा हमारे टॉक शोज मकबूल थे, लेकिन अब मीडिया का ये हाल हो गया है कि उनके ऊपर इतनी जुल्म ही हो रहा है, उनके ऊपर भी, और उनको इतना कंट्रोल कर लिया गया है कि पाकिस्तानियों का अपनी मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया पे एतमाद उठ गया है। जब उनको पता चला है कि शाहरेज खान और शेरशाह खान को भी जेल में डाल दिया गया है, उन्होंने कहा ये मेरा पैगाम खास तौर पे बाहर जाकर आसिम मुनीर को दें, ये पैगाम आसिम मुनीर के लिए है। उन्होंने कहा इनको कह दो कि अगर आपका ख्याल है कि मुझे और बुशरा बीबी को आपने सॉलिटरी में डाला है, अगर आप हमें इतने अरसे के लिए आपने ये जो टॉर्चर किया हुआ था वो भी हम बर्दाश्त कर लेंगे। आप बुशरा बीबी को सॉलिटरी इसलिए कर रहे हो ताकि वो टूट जाएं, ताकि मेरे ऊपर प्रेशर पड़े, और आप अगर जो शाहरेज शेरशाह को जैसे डाला है, हसन न्याजी को जिनको 10 साल कैद दी हुई है, अगर आप हमारी फैमिली को जितना मर्जी आप कर लें जुल्म, जिसको मर्जी कैद में डाल दें, मेरे ख्याल में उनका मतलब है हम सबको जिसको मर्जी आप कैद में डाल दें। इमरान खान ने कहा मैं नहीं झुकूंगा, अपने मौक़िफ़ से नहीं हटूंगा, इस जुल्म को कबूल नहीं करूंगा। ये आपको पैगाम जो उन्होंने भेजा है मैंने आपको पहुंचा दिया।
So strong words coming in from Imran Khan from behind bars through his sister when it comes to taking on the ruling dispensation, namely Asim Munir. I'm joined by my colleague Akanksha Swaroop on the broadcast. So Akanksha, it seems that while the PTI might be down in Pakistani politics, it's not completely out. It's still a force to reckon with, when it comes to Pakistani politics.
Right, Ayushman, very well said. And in fact, in inputs shared by Securities Editor Mr. Manoj Gupta, what we are being told is that Alima Khan has been very consistent in that kind of messaging on behalf of her brother. And in fact, just days ago, she had also spoken exclusively with News 18, where she described her son's arrest as an intimidation tactic. To speak about the latest message that she's delivered of Imran Khan, it only goes on to...
Welcome back. Well, the country as we speak is heading into festive mode. Devotees are heard chanting Ganpati Bappa Moria and waiting in long queues to catch one glimpse of their favourite deity.
On behalf of everyone from Team Breakfast Club and CNN News 18, we wish you a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi. Enjoy this report. It comes from Yasha Kotak. She shows us everything that's happening in Mumbai. Take a look.
Mumbaikars are waiting to welcome their favourite deity, Lord Ganesha. In fact, preparations are all in full swing, and very soon chants of Ganpati Bappa Moria could be heard from each and every lane of Mumbai. Mumbaikars are enthusiasts, but there are bigger pandals as well who put in massive preparations to welcome Lord Ganesha into their pandal, wherein we'd see lakhs of people visiting these pandal. One of the most festive times in Mumbai is about to begin, and which is where we see that Mumbaikars are enthusiasts. Mumbai police is ready on a war footing to take care of this entire preparation, to take care of the festive spirit. And there is, of course, an enthusiasm in the pandal organizers as well, who would in fact welcome bigger Ganpati Bappas in their pandals, while smaller Ganpati Bappas would soon come into houses of people.
The festival of Ganesh Chaturthi has shaped the past and present of Mumbai in a way very few cultural events have. What started as Lokmanya Tilak's endeavour to promote community feeling soon became an intrinsic part of city's cultural ethos. And a visit to these grand pandals is what makes the festival an unforgettable experience for both the faithful and visitors alike. For many, the defining image of Mumbai during the Ganesh Chaturthi festival is the procession of Lal Bagh Ja Raja through the city during immersion amid a kaleidoscope of colours, petals and festivities. Lal Bagh Cha Raja is known as Navasacha Ganpati, or the deity who fulfills wishes, and millions flock all through the day and night to seek his blessings, with long queues witnessed even in wee hours of the morning.
इस साल बप्पा का जो डेकोरेशन है वो भी एक अलग सा है, जैसे कि तिरुपति बालाजी का जो मुकुट बना है, सुवर्ण मुकुट, उसमें बप्पा जी लाल बाग का राजा का मूर्ति उसमें विराजमान हुई है। आप देख सकते हैं कि वो एक सुवर्ण महल है, और दिन रात ये 2 महीने से हमारी तैयारी चल रही थी। यहाँ पे आने वाला भाविक है वो लाल बाग का राजा का दर्शन के लिए आते, तो अलग सा आशीर्वाद उनको मिलना चाहिए, उनके मन में एक अच्छी भक्ति निर्माण होनी चाहिए, उनको एक अलग सा आनंद मिलना चाहिए। ये सारी चीज़ों के ख्याल रख के हमारे सब कार्यकर्ता यहाँ पे पूरी तैयारी में जुड़े हैं।
While for many outside Mumbai, the most famous pandal is the Lal Bagh Cha Raja, there are many others in the different parts of the city with their own spectacular decorations and magnificent idols which witness thousands of visitors during the 11-day festival. Some of these iconic pandals include the oldest Ganpati Mandal in the city, Keshavji Nayak Chaul Mandal, along with the Mumbai Cha, Andheri Cha and Khetwadi Cha Rajas. All iconic spectacular pandals on the must-visit list. While each pandal offers devotees and visitors a unique experience, some pandals offer a breathtaking spectacle like the GSB Seva Mandal at King's Circle, known for its elaborate decorations and the deity being adorned with dazzling jewels, which needs elaborate security and insurance. GSP Seva Mandal has an insurance cover of 474 crores, which includes nearly 70 crore cover just for the idol, which includes 69 kg of gold and over 330 kg of silver jewelry. Though the biggest chunk of the cover is for personal accident at 375 crores. The insurance cover this year has also seen a marked increase from last year's cover of 400 crore rupees.
Right here, the look reveal of this Ganesh Mandal has taken place, following which from 27th is when celebrations and prayers would continue for 5 days at this very Ganesh Mandal.
इस साल के वैशिष्ट्य है जो पीछे जो चांदी की प्रभावली है, करीबन 110 किलो चांदी लगा है, उसको वो नया बना हुआ है, भक्तजनों ने दिया हुआ है, और वैसे हमने वो प्रभावली बनाई हुई है। भगवान के ऊपर करीबन 66 किलो ऑफ गोल्ड है और करीबन 336 kgs ऑफ सिल्वर है।
And sir, the mandal is also known for the highest insurance that it takes every year. What is the insurance amount this year?
We have taken an insurance of 474 crores, which covers the all risk policy, which also covers the pandal, fire, public liability, group personal accident. Every devotee who enters the pandal is insured.
While for the residents and visitors, this is the time for greatest celebrations, for authorities it also presents great challenges in crowd, traffic and security arrangements. This year alone, the authorities have given permission to 2,700 pandals, indicating the mammoth task before the machinery for 11 days.
For this festival, we have deployed 7 additional CP rank officers, 36 DCP rank officers, 51 ACP rank officers, more than 2,500 inspector and API rank officers. In addition to that, more than 15,000 police constables we are deploying.
It's not a task for Mumbai Police to maintain law and order during the time of Ganesh festival, clearly, with so many people out on streets and so many pandals celebrating the festivities. To ensure necessary precautions, Mumbai Police will be deploying 36 DCPs, 51 ACPs, more than 14,000 policemen and more than 2,600 police officers as a part of security provisions in various of these pandals and across Mumbai. In fact, when we speak of all of these preparations, not only Mumbai Police but RPF, bomb disposal and special squads will also be deployed on the streets of Mumbai and at various pandals to take a stock of law and order in the city.
And well, we now move on to this morning's person of interest. India's young consumers are restless, they're ambitious and hard to pin down. But Madhav Sheth has spent the last decade doing exactly that. As the man behind Realme's meteoric rise, he learned what makes us tick. When do we pick style over substance? When do we demand both? And how can a brand go from unknown to indispensable almost overnight?
And that's what makes his story bigger than just smartphones. From spotting just where and how trends are born to reading the aspirations of a generation that says it wants everything faster, sleeker, and smarter, Madhav has had a ringside seat to the way that India is changing. And now, with his new venture in AI-powered tech, he's asking the same question again. What does young India want next? Hello, Madhav. It's so lovely to have you here on The Breakfast Club. Thank you for joining us bright and early in the morning. Can we ask you first? So we'll start with the Realme question. You built Realme from scratch and you scaled it into one of the country's top smartphone brands. Tell us both the positive and the negative. What did that teach you about what young India wants? Was it all complimentary? Are there some things that aren't so complimentary? Bring us some of the background juice there.
All right. First of all, happy Ganesh Chaturthi to everyone.
Thank you.
And it's been a very auspicious day. Thank you very much for having me over here on the Breakfast Club. I think it's been an exceptional journey while I was building Realme. It has taught me that young India is driven by a desire for technology that is both accessible and empowering. They want devices that not only meet their everyday needs, but also reflect their aspirations and abilities, which, they can also fulfill their identities along with it. This generation values innovation. And what does this really mean? That they want it affordable, they want it practical, and they want it seamlessly integrated into their daily lives. I think that's what the biggest learning from Realme, and this is where a lot of brands do not understand Indian consumers. While Indian consumers are the biggest yardstick in the world, having the youngest population in the world. So I believe that if you are able to crack the code of India, you're able to crack the code of the world on what the technology needs it.
Madhav, let's now move from the Realme story to the AI Plus story. Tell us a little bit about how, this idea came about. What is it that you thought when you were out there to challenge the dominance of foreign brands to establish or promote this kind of a digital sovereignty? How much of that thought came from AI and what young India wants around AI and tech?
It is a fair question and I would love to answer it. The first of all, I think it's a market of more than 5 lakh crore rupees in India. India itself is a huge consumption market for smartphones in terms of value and in terms of volume as well. But the most piteous part is that in last 10 years, there's not even one single Indian brand. The value of the Indian brands are less than 1%. So for us to put India on a global scale of map on technology front, I think we need at least some brands coming out from India. While we understand that the value chain or the supply chain is definitely which is China plus one, but I think having a brand coming out of India will start bringing up the value chain also and the supply chain also to India over a period of time. I think that's the first step which we wanted to build it, and that's where the AI Plus start coming into picture. While I have built in the past few of the companies which I was with the foreign companies around, government had extreme push for exports from India. But it is predominantly that probably China was an export country. So doing the same brands doing export from India was extremely difficult, and they have never been able to achieve from last 5 years. But they've given a multiple roadmaps, but they were never been able to achieve it. So what I believe is the brand has to be built on the value systems rather than just using it as a consumption market. And this value system depends on how you are giving back to the society also. While giving back to the society does not only mean that probably just about being functional. It's about transferring technology. It's about empowering the users. It's about giving the right technology to the right user at the right price. Being transparent to the systems and the bureaucracy and the democracy. I think that's where I thought about that it's better to build up a brand starting out from India.
So what you're saying, Madhav, we've had other founders say this too, that in India, the thing that still needs to happen is creating design, creating tech that is uniquely Indian. That's manufacturing has moved here, but these other parts still remain. I want to ask you, Madhav, what do you think is so special about the organization that you've just started? Because AI has become too much of a catchword, it feels like, in the last few years. We use the word without fully understanding what it means. So what exactly are you doing with your phones that is unique?
See, first of all, I'd like to answer your second question first, which is AI is more of a marketing jargon at this point of time, which a lot of brands use it. but more of it, how the consumers look upon is to how they can get the practicality focused out of it. How can AI help your day-to-day lives or solve your immediate real-world problems? That's what AI is all about. While a lot of consumers are only expecting to solve their day-to-day problems, in this generations, brands or the marketing companies use AI as a jargon. While what we are trying to solve is to bridge the digital divide gap. As in AI plus smartphones, we believe that probably there's a 450 million smartphone users which are still using 2G in India. India is the only parallel country where we still have a 2G users. If you do not bridge the digital divide, and we are just trying to patch in what the global product portfolio into India, we'll never be able to bridge the digital divide gap. There's 450 million users, and we are adding another 50 million users of feature phone. While they are the market share is going down for the feature phones every year by 10%, but we still see 45 to 50 million feature phones users still there. So how do we bridge that digital divide gap? While a lot of cities still do not have a proper 5G connectivity, how do we bridge this particular gap of digital divide and communication, which is the prime importance today? And I think that is what AI Plus as a value system will be focusing on to bridge the digital divide gap and democratizing it, making it more affordable for the consumers to achieve and attain these devices and be a part of the digital ecosystem.
Madhav, how much of this initiative is dealing with data privacy concerns? Phones carrying so much of our personal data, our financial data, there is growing concern around privacy, data privacy in particular. Tell us a little bit about how you have decided to tackle that challenge. Is the thought here really integrating AI into the software and hardware of your gadget in a way that there's no compromise on people's data, or the global access is blocked? Is this the thought that's gone into your initiative?
I think the most important point and very relevant point is that data security is extremely important, and there are three parties involved into it. One is the government, one is the industry, and one is the consumers. While the first two parties are equally responsible for the third party, which are the consumers, to be getting them educated about what exactly the data privacy is all about. That education to the consumers is extremely important. That's point number one, which means that probably the industry has to be taking initiatives along with the government to ensure that probably the consumers are literate about what does that data privacy is all about. We have seen in the past the Chinese fintech companies and the debacles and they're banned from India, and why the apps were banned from India. So we have seen that there's a lot of cases where the data securities have been a concern in a lot of families in the past. But the education is extremely important, and that's what the first important priority is. So as a fundamental pillar for us, the most important is first is to be transparent to the consumers. It's not about AI. It's about intent to educate the consumers that your data has to be overall, over a period of time, your agent APK source code has to be sourced in India itself. And you have to store it in server in India itself. So your apps cannot access that particular data. Which apps is carrying what type, or they are taking what type of data is another important aspect for the consumers to understand, and that is rather part of an education. So what at AI Plus we are trying to do is to create a dashboard which will be launching on every other phone, that probably consumers will be able to understand which apps is consuming which type of data, which means that probably they are accessing your camera, they are accessing your phone call, they are accessing your messages or records or whatever it is. So that dashboard will be on your phone and you'll be able to access it live, which is the first part of it. Second part is where the DPDP Act will come into picture, and where the Consumer Data Bill Protection Act will also become a part of a day-to-day routine. That's where the industry will also fall in place. But currently, because the industry 85% is not in India and when followed by Chinese brands, they only follow what is as per the compliance rather than doing it on an intent to serve the consumers. That's the most important.
Beautifully said. And Madhav, I love some of the points you're making because, for example, everyone can go into their phone, go into their settings and see which apps can access their camera, but no one ends up doing that. Your entire point is that we need to change the way the phone is structured in the first place so that these are the first things that come to us, right, as consumers. So Madhav, in a sense, you're building the phone that you think India needs, not essentially the one that India wants, because there are phones out there that India already wants. India is going out to the market and buying, but this is a phone that you think India needs. And I want you to really summarize for our audience there a little bit about what you think the future of India building for India actually looks like, because you've touched on that a little bit with this answer already, that A, as you've said already, security, safety matters. B, AI can be used in all these ways. But how would you like to see the companies around you, not just in the phone ecosystem, in other ecosystems too, but in tech, built for India in this manner? What does that look like?
See, first of all, the tech and exports from India, for us as an industry, is extremely important that we focus on few fundamental pillars from India, because technology exports is one of the biggest market in the world. We've been seeing that between China and Taiwan, there's more than $900 billion worth of exports, while India is around $40 or $50 billion at the current state. So, exports is a predominantly one of the most important thing from India. Well, I believe that as an industry, none of the brands have initiated too much of it, while who are capturing 85% of the market. But at the same time, that is extremely important for the forest reserves and the trade of balance of trade. While AI Plus will be starting exports very soon from India itself, starting within this month itself. At the same time, what we should be focusing on as a brand is creating the value systems across the entire component ecosystems to be brought to India, which is where the entire technology transfer or technology know-how transfer is also extremely important to be transferred to India over a period of time. Currently, industry thinking to use India as just as a consumption market, the intent to change and have a thought process of developing India to a technology market and a technology hub and a technology export market is extremely important for the industry to think along with the government, while government has been pushing this industry from past half a decade or more, which I have been seeing it personally, but it has not happened as of now. While I think there probably is time that, probably if we really want to be an independent economy, we have to start thinking, because we are not just an export economy, we are the biggest consumption economy also. So along with the biggest consumption, we can be one of the export economy. It can be a complementing business for India and make it big from India itself.
I love the positive note that we're ending this conversation on, that India most certainly can become one of the largest exporters of tech ideas. Thank you so much, Madhav, for that very interesting conversation. We'll reconnect hopefully
Happy
soon and
Ganesh
ask
Chaturthi.
you. Yeah. Have a great day.
Thank you for joining us. All right, we're heading into a quick break. On the other side, we're not done yet, and we have some very, very positive news for you, for Swifties in particular. Everyone already knows what we're talking about. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
And shifting focus to some more breaking news that's coming in from behind bars at Adiala jail. Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan has sent a fiery message to Pakistan's Army Chief Asim Munir, accusing him of destroying Pakistan. According to Alima Khan, Imran Khan's sister, the former Pakistan Prime Minister drew a direct and stinging parallel between former Pakistan Cricket Board Chairman Mohsin Naqvi and the country's Chief of Army Staff, Asim Munir, calling them both failures. He has also said that his family will not bow down to Asim Munir. Imran Khan has said that there is no rule of law in Pakistan, adding that all institutions are compromised. So strong words coming in from Imran Khan via his sister Alima Khan. Listen in.
इमरान खान ने कहा कि आप क्रिकेट का हाल देख लें, जो मोहसिन नकवी क्रिकेट के साथ कर रहे हैं वही आसिम मुनीर पाकिस्तान के साथ कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ पे हालात ये हैं कि रूल ऑफ लॉ खत्म हो गया। हमारी मीडिया जो बड़ी मुश्किल से एक लेवल पे पहुंची थी, एक उन्होंने एक डेवलप की थी, इवॉल्व की थी, और पाकिस्तान ने अपनी जगह एक बनाई थी, और पाकिस्तानी अपनी मीडिया पे इत्मीनान करते थे। यहाँ के टॉक शोज ड्रामे से ज्यादा हमारे टॉक शोज मकबूल थे, लेकिन अब मीडिया का ये हाल हो गया है कि उनके ऊपर इतनी जुल्म ही हो रहा है, उनके ऊपर भी, और उनको इतना कंट्रोल कर लिया गया है कि पाकिस्तानियों का अपनी मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया पे एतमाद उठ गया है। जब उनको पता चला है कि शाहरेज खान और शेरशाह खान को भी जेल में डाल दिया गया है, उन्होंने कहा ये मेरा पैगाम खास तौर पे बाहर जाकर आसिम मुनीर को दें। ये पैगाम आसिम मुनीर के लिए है। उन्होंने कहा इनको कह दो कि अगर आपका ख्याल है कि मुझे और बुशरा बीबी को आपने सॉलिटरी में डाला है, अगर आप हमें इतने अरसे के लिए आपने ये जो टॉर्चर किया हुआ था वो भी हम बर्दाश्त कर लेंगे। आप बुशरा बीबी को सॉलिटरी इसलिए कर रहे हो ताकि वो टूट जाएं, ताकि मेरे ऊपर प्रेशर पड़े। और आप अगर जो शाहरेज शेरशाह को जैसे डाला है, हसान न्याजी को जिनको 10 साल कैद दी हुई है, अगर आप हमारी फैमिली को जितना मर्जी आप कर लें जुल्म, जिसको मर्जी कैद में डाल दें, मेरे ख्याल में उनका मतलब है हम सबको जिसको मर्जी आप कैद में डाल दें। इमरान खान ने कहा मैं नहीं झुकूंगा, अपने मौक़िफ़ से नहीं हटूंगा, इस जुल्म को कबूल नहीं करूंगा। ये आपको पैगाम जो उन्होंने भेजा मैंने आपको पहुंचा दिया।
So strong words coming in from Imran Khan from behind bars through his sister when it comes to taking on the ruling dispensation, namely Asim Munir. I'm joined by my colleague Akanksha Swaroop on the broadcast.
Okay, welcome back. Renowned singer and songwriter Taylor Swift announced her engagement to longtime partner and football champion Travis Kelce. She took to her Instagram handle to share dreamy pictures from their engagement ceremony, as you see on your screens, and everybody's talking about that wonderful ring. Some of these excellent visuals have taken the internet by storm. Both Taylor and Kelce's relationship has quickly become one of the most talked about love stories. Do remember, the couple surprised fans when they were first linked, and since then there's been no looking back. Their journey together has been making headlines. It's a love story, baby, just say yes. That's something which is echoing across the internet as fans are totally obsessed with these engagement pictures. On that note, we head into a short break. That's all we could pack for you for now. Thanks for watching.
Shifting focus to some more breaking news that's coming in from behind bars at Adiala jail. Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan has sent a fiery message to Pakistan's Army Chief Asim Munir, accusing him of destroying Pakistan. According to Alima Khan, Imran Khan's sister, the former Pakistan Prime Minister drew a direct and stinging parallel between former Pakistan Cricket Board Chairman Mohsin Naqvi and the country's Chief of Army Staff Asim Munir, calling them both failures.